Happy day. You're listening to BreathPlay Happy Hour. Our intention is for you to learn how to breathe, how the breath can guide you to wake up, let go, and shift your success in life, love, business, sports, and beyond. I'm your host, Roberto Suarez, better known as the Happy Coach. So let's take a deep breath before we get going. Through the nose, inhale, exhale through the mouth. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Let go through the mouth. So now relax and let's transform your life today. With me today, I have Holly Geoghegan, better known as Holly G. Holly is the founder of Golf Marketing Services and Golf Insiders. Besides being a master golfer, friend, entrepreneur, athlete, and a coach. Is there anything else, Holly?
Hey, Chi, as I know you fondly, it's great to be on your podcast, and congratulations from one podcaster to another. And I think you've just given me a great tool to have my guests do before they come on my show, my radio show. So that was awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, that's perfect. It's like it gets everybody relaxed before they get going, right? So,
Absolutely. I love it.
so welcome to the Breath Play Happy Hour, and maybe we get started with what's been your breath experience? Do you have any?
Well, we've done a lot of transformational work together, and also I was involved for a period of time, about 5 years, in launching a golf fitness magazine into the golf world, and we focused a lot on various modalities beyond just your typical fitness training. In fact, we did a lot with yoga early in the days. I'm talking back, around 2005,
Okay.
and we did a lot of work with a woman by the name of Catherine Roberts, who brought yoga to the golf world, and along with that, and doing a lot of work with you, discovered breath work. And it really is something that we're seeing more and more talked about, particularly at the tour level in the golf business. Tour players, whether they're the PGA Tour, the Champions Tour, the LPGA, always looking for, that cutting edge to take them to the next level. And we're hearing breathing talked about more and more.
Well, that's awesome. Can you give us like an example of somebody right now that has used the breath to increase their performance or be able to even win a tournament?
Yeah, I think you can see that right now with a number of players. I think most notably the first one to incorporate breathing and visualization was Jason Day, who's a very popular player on tour from Australia. But you would see Jason in the fairway, or before he sets up his drive, he stands behind the ball, he closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and you can tell is just not only visualizing his shot, but trying to get into that ultimate state of relaxation before he hits his next shot. So he's somebody in particular, just from closing his eyes and taking a deep breath, that started to get attention. And more
Yeah.
recently, we're seeing this Bryson DeChambeau, who is sort of that now the mad scientist out on the tour. He's hitting it longer than anybody, but he's using all the techniques he can to, change his game and create himself a winner, which, just a month ago, he became a major champion, winning the US Open championship in New York. So what Bryson specifically, when he lines up his putts, he closes his eyes. His last part of the routine is he closes his eyes, takes a deep breath. Again, visualizing the line, trying to, get in that, quiet state and be able to also, visualize and breathe in his tempo. And another one who's been very public, in fact, a story out this week on golfweek.com is about Bubba Watson. Bubba, who's a two-time Masters champion, has very publicly and recently talked about his struggles with anxiety. Not only anxiety on the golf course, which, can you imagine? This is a two-time Masters champion.
Yes.
Anybody who's a golfer knows what it's like if you have to make that 1-footer, for your Saturday buddy match, or if you're, sinking the putt for your club championship. But Bubba has talked about how anxiety has really gripped him both in his life, outside the course and as a player. And he has recently talked about that he's been working with a breath coach to really help him, with those moments of overwhelm. And, it's very exciting to see this, conversation coming into golf.
Yeah, it's great. And you mentioned a couple of the key things with the breath, and what you experience and what you can see on the golfers is that they relax, and that's one of the key things in breath therapy and in breath work, and what I call breath play is to be able not only to be aware, but to relax, to be able to relax your body, relax your mind, relax any intensity in your body, so you can be in that zone, and using the breath consciously. So what they're doing is bringing the breath to a conscious level by being able to close their eyes and breathing, so that supports them in releasing whatever they need to take that next golf shot. And
Golf is
go ahead.
golf, especially because it's we know that it's so easy to get those muscles tight. And when your muscles get tight in your, arms, and you start gripping the club like, a death grip, that's not something that's going to lead to good shot making. And I know for myself, what I started to observe and then was able to work on in working with you is that I literally started holding my breath when I was putting. And that's really not a good thing to do when you got a 6-footer that really matters, right? That can become a 3-putt really quickly. So, and it was something that I had no idea. I think, I think, some things are too simple for complicated minds. We take breathing for granted, that it's, just something that's there. But my gosh, breathing is what, runs our engine, right? That's the oxygen in our blood and in our heart, and gives us, our energy. And, I've just become so aware of that. And even through broadcasting that, I often found that I would sort of be taking short breaths, especially, when, anytime I get excited, about something. So it's really been so, such a gift to learn this from you.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like, anybody who's a master in anything usually masters the breath, because they're aware, they're very conscious. So all the golfers, they're masters. They're masters at their trade, but they're also master of their body, master of their breath. What's happening is now they're going to a whole different level, like having the breath lead them instead of them trying to control it. but the only way to get there is through practice and awareness. So
Yes, and another key part of that,
yeah,
and you'll hear, announcers on TV talk about this a lot, especially on Sunday when a player's in contention.
yeah,
Their goal is to slow everything down in their world. They have to really get in the zone and pay attention that they're not walking too fast, that they're not, breathing too fast, or, like in my case, what I noticed, I would just hold my breath. When you're coming down, the final stretch, as we like to call it, 15, 16, 17, 18, those holes are critical, right? And for a lot of players, if they get too fast, or, outside of their mind, if you
yeah,
will, instead of, being in the zone, as we like to talk about, that can be the difference of winning or losing.
yeah, absolutely. So what would you tell someone, right, that is getting into the golf world would be the key, like let's say the key three things that they should focus on to improve their game or to, play a better golf game?
Well, I think there's so much focus put on the physical side of the game, in particular because technology and golf equipment has come so far. There's, and even right now, what Bryson DeChambeau is doing, all the tinkering, and he's bulked up 40 pounds and he's trying to generate record swing speed and, hitting it 400 yards. Are you kidding me? What are we going to do to these golf courses? Right. But I can tell you, I do a lot of podcasts with a well-renowned golf psychologist by the name of Dr. Bob Winters. And what we talk about a lot is the mental side of the game. Lots of golf happens between the 6 inches between our ears.
A lot of life happens there.
That's right. Yes. Golf and life, they're very synonymous. You learn a lot about yourself on the golf course that
Absolutely.
applies to life. No doubt about it. Yes, I'm a little biased, but I think golf is one of those sports where, it's you and the golf course. So focusing on the mental side of the game, I think is just so important. And whether, that includes, and, your routine is so important. So, incorporating breathing into all of those pieces of the mental game, your routine, your visualization, just your preparation, regardless of, again, whether you're going out to play a friendly match on Saturday, your club member, or a state championship, let's say. Being able to really control your nerves, control, where your mind goes. You hit that first shot off the tee and you've sliced it right 40 yards. And now, okay, that's one shot. And your brain is already going, you dummy, you knucklehead, this is over, right? That's where we go. So I see breathing is, just such a simple thing that you can do that gives, so many benefits back.
Yeah, I kind of been playing. I've tried playing golf for a while. I would have saved a lot of money, right, and aggravation if somebody would have taught me the breath techniques before I started playing golf.
Absolutely.
And
right?
a few of my friends too that I've seen, I've seen golf bags and clubs go into the water or get thrown to the top of a tree, right?
Yeah, that could get pretty costly.
Yeah. Or
You're
like
better off spending your money with you.
absolutely. or like, you know, like all of a sudden your club is bent totally and you hurt a tree. So,
Yeah,
you know,
when
it's
you're
so
in sports.
easy to learn about the breath uh, because breath helps you several ways. Once is to get you present, but breath is spirit, right?
So
So
true.
it's life. So the moment you can get really aware of the breath, you know, you're going to have more energy. You're going to have life energy, right? So you're going to feel better. So you're going to be able to move better. You'll be able to think better, to make better decisions, and so forth. So to me, you know, breath has like shifted everything. Like I told you the other day, I think I'm the only guy that can shoot over 100 and still be happy. You know,
Yeah, you
because
know
it's all
that.
about having fun, right? If you're not going to be a pro, right? Having fun and improving your game and setting some goals and getting better and so forth. But you can do all that through the breath. And you talked about anxiety, right? And Bubba Watson.
Bubba Watson, yes.
Yeah, I have a breath. It's called belly breathing that really can help people with anxiety. But not only does it help with anxiety, it helps with stress. You know, we're running around all stressful all the time, right? So to remove that stress, you have to be able to bring and breathe fully. Not only up here. Most of us breathe up here, or we don't breathe. You know, like the breath is breathing us. We think,
Guilty as charged.
yeah. Most people say, "Oh, yeah, I've been breathing all my life," and I go, "No, you haven't. The breath is breathing you all your life. You don't know how you breathe. So we're because of some trauma in the past, right? We kind of like shorten our breath, so we're only breathing up here. We're not breathing fully. So a belly breath is like if you want to slow your stress and slow your anxiety, the key phrase is slow and low. So slow and
Like
low into your belly, right? Slow, and you put your hands in your belly, and then relax and let go slow. Inhale into your belly. And your belly should expand and then expand in your exhale, right? So it's like inhale to your belly, and you can inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, or you can inhale through the mouth, exhale through the mouth. And just practice that for 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes during the day, 5 minutes at night. Because when the belly goes up, what's happening is the diaphragm goes down. And when the belly goes in, the diaphragm expands. So you're working the most important muscle in your body for the breath. When we don't breathe in the belly, we don't work that muscle. So we're contracting our mechanism to be able to bring full breath into your body and feel better. So when we do like a lot of chest breathing and slow breathing and too fast breathing, we're not working that muscle. So so that by doing that, you slow and low. Remember that slow and low, and that'll help the anxiety just go down completely, and the stress.
Let me ask you a question because you just touched on it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, why does the difference between breathing through your nose,
Mm-hmm.
breathing through your mouth, and sometimes we've done exercises, right?
Right.
Nose, mouth. Uh, how, what's different? You know, is there more intake? And why does it feel so awkward to do it through the mouth?
Well, first of all, that question could be a whole seminar, right? For a whole
Well,
week.
leave it to me to ask the simple question.
Yeah, so it's very simple. God made the nose so we can breathe through it because it has little hairs and it filters. It filters the air when it comes into the lungs, so you're bringing in the best energy and the best thing. And and He gave us a nose to breathe fully. So there's a whole world out there of people that believe that you should only breathe through the nose, right? And it's really good to be able to master breathing through the nose because it's going to give you more relaxation, more connection, and you'll be able to like run more, you know. You can do a lot more through the nose. but you can't laugh through the nose. You can't make noise through the nose. You can't play through the nose, right?
I don't know. I know some pretty good snores.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but they can snort, right? But to the mouth,
But that's not good breathing.
so the mouth, you can do a lot of things through your mouth breathing. You can make noise, you can chant through the mouth, you can do all kinds of stuff. So the idea is to master both, not to resist one or the other. Because sometimes, you might have your nose is plugged, and you want to be able to breathe through your mouth, right? So sometimes if you go to the dentist and they got your mouth going, you better be able to breathe through your nose nice and fully when they're playing with your mouth, right? So you want to master, both. And through the mouth, you open up more body channels. So you're working more on your body, right? The nose, you're working more up here and, up into spirit world. But it's that's my 1 minute, difference. But my recommendation is, for just master both types. I was a very mouth breather like all my life because of all kinds of different traumas. When I played sports, it was like running. After I run 100-yard kickoff return, I would have to sit down. Like I thought I'd be dying. If I knew how to breathe through the nose, then I could have recouped a lot faster. But I didn't know that back then. So that's my 2 cents with it. Coming back to the golf, right? Is there anything else that you think breath can help with? What kind of tips would you give somebody in a golf and breath journey that is starting?
Well, another one that comes to my mind is too often golfers arrive and are rushing to the first tee without a lot of time to practice, even hit a bucket of balls. And, I think you just demonstrated right there, just that little exercise that you can do in under a minute. Mm-hmm. And I just felt so much energy from you, that just creates a place where you can shift out of that, rushing around, stressed out, mode, which I'm very familiar with. It only takes a couple of minutes, and, you can then just let it all go and be ready to hit that first tee shot.
Yeah, so that breath that we did at the beginning is what the normal breath should be like, where it's a triangle. You inhale, you exhale, you pause. So if you inhale for 2 seconds, you exhale for 2 seconds, you pause for 2 seconds. So if you can do it, it's like the sigh of relief. So before you go to the tee, you do it like 3 or 4 or 5 times, depending, how you're feeling, right? But you can do just one. You inhale for 3 seconds through the nose. You exhale through the mouth. You pause for 2 seconds, right? Then you go again. Again. One more time. And that'll help you just get back to the center and help you get away from your mind. So that's my breath tip for the day. Right?
Awesome.
And you can take that anywhere, do it anytime, any place, and can do it. So
do it before an important meeting. Do it, if you need a couple of minutes to, shift gears during a busy day. Really, so energizing.
Yeah, anytime, like, try to do, the formula that I teach people is 10 plus 10 plus 10 times 2. Practice 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the evening, and 10 times during the day for 2 minutes. If you can do that for 30 days, your life changes just doing that breath. because you're shifting whatever bad habits you have in your subconscious and in your brain that has become a habit. When you're in fear, you stop breathing, you hold your breath. So to shift that, it's just like golf, right? If you want to shift your swing, you have to hit and practice and practice and practice. Same thing with the breath. You have to practice it, and the more you practice it, then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes part of you, and then you don't. It just comes naturally.
Well, what I love about it is that it's really a fantastic tool to keep you in the present moment. That may sound like an overused phrase, but especially in golf, you hear the pros frequently talk about playing one shot at a time.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
again, I think that sounds very simple, but for most amateurs, we're like, what? I'm still back on 3 holes ago when I chili dipped it into the water in front of the, third green. But pros have this amazing ability, and yes, okay, they're professionals and they, work on this. And again, like you said, practice, 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 right? Yeah. But this is such a simple tool. It's like, hey, if I can hit the pause button on a recording, right? It's a way that you can do that for your mind and shift, your energy, shift your focus, shift your attention, and, reset yourself. Absolutely. That's the beauty I see. And it's simple. You can take it anywhere, and, no excuses for not doing breath work.
You see, I told you she was an awesome coach.
Well, and I like the way you put it, though. Breath play with it. And the same with golf. Golf's a game, have fun.
Absolutely. I shifted from breath work. That sounds too, like too much work.
Too much work. You got enough work.
So that's great. Anyway, so I think that we'll end it in that note.
All right.
And how can people, get in touch with you?
Well, it's pretty easy.
Yeah.
They can go to golfmarketingservicesinc.com, or they can tune into my radio show, which is the golfinsiders.com. And I'm on iHeartRadio, and also I podcast weekly. So I would love to have some of your fans and listeners who are golfers, and even if they're just interested in the game, it's we're growing the game right now because it's a terrific social distancing sport, and we're seeing just record numbers of people, learning the game, rounds increasing. So it's a very exciting time, in the midst of this very difficult pandemic. So great way to get some exercise, recreation, be outdoors, smell all the green grass and breathe.
and it's a great way to test your awareness and your presence out in the golf course. You'll find out real quick how present you are.
Well, as Mark Twain said, golf is a good walk spoiled.
Absolutely. So I want to thank everybody for listening and breathing with us today. I'd like to thank Holly, and you can follow me or us at lhappycoach.com. Now you know more about our podcast. We're going to have it every week. Probably we're going to release it on starting on Monday. And lastly, what was your biggest learning from this episode? Take a moment and share with that in our Facebook page, El Happy Coach, in Facebook, hashtag El Happy Coach. And we always like to hear how we can become more awesome for you in this podcast. So remember, breathe happy, live happy. Breathe happy, play golf happy. So
awesome.
See you next time. Thank you, Holly. turn it off.